Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karva Vahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. So we are on verse 18. And so 18 is supposed to be a very auspicious number also. So this ends with 18. It's kind of interesting. So the last one was that Yamraji brought Nachiketa back to the original subject, because before that he was talking about all different naris and different exit gates, how we have our journey. And then he said, focus on that Purusha, which is the size of the thumb, the inner self, which is ever seated in the heart of all beings. And one should draw him out from one's body with the steadiness as one draws the pith, the central stalk. We talked about that munja grass, that it is a very delicate operation. Same way, all the different coverings that we have of body, mind, pranas, intellect, and all, slowly you go all the way deeper. And he's saying, know him as a pure and immortal. Yes, know him as a pure and immortal. So when somebody says twice, and then the word iti was used too, those are all the indication that the Upanishad is over. But what is this last one? They call it Falashruti. That, hey, usse kya fayda hoga? Something like that, because kitna bhi hum log kuch kare, but human, hamara nature hota hai ki mere ko kya milega isse? Right? Everybody wants to know that. So, it's telling you kya milega. So, this verse is, I have to break the sandhi, because I don't know how to sing this one. I'm just read it. Mrityu proktam nachiketaha atha labdhva vidya etam yoga vidhim chakrutsnam brahma praptaha virjaha abhuta vimrutyuhu anyah api evam yah vit adhyatmam eva. Mrityu proktam, instructed by death. Death means he's talking about Yamraji, Dharmaraj. Nachiketaha, Nachiketa we know. Atha, then, labdhva, having attained. Vidyam, knowledge. Etam is this. Yoga vidhim, process of yoga. And yoga means the means to get to the higher. Cha is also kritsnam, the whole, everything. Nothing held behind. Brahma praptaha, knower of the Brahman. So he became the knower of the Brahman. Virajaha. So ye rajas ka, virajam jisme rajas na ho, free from impurities. Another way of saying that purity. Because rajas mein all the impure things come. Kaam, krodh, lobh, moh, sab rajas ki wajah se aa jata hai. Abhut, become or was. Vimrutyuhu, free from death. Mrityu mein aage vi laga diya to means, without death, meaning here without change, you can say. Desire, and we'll go more, in line with what we learned. We will see what it means. Anya is any other. Api is also. Evam is thus. Yah is who. Vit is knows. The one who knows. Adhyatmam, the inner self, thus. Eva is thus. So what here in this verse, it's said that the vidya or the knowledge that was taught by Mrityu Bhagwan, means Yamraj ji to Nachiketa, and he got it. जिस ढंग से उन्होंने उसको सिखाया, उसको ये विद्या प्राप्त हो गई. So Tejo Menon ji was saying, okay, उसको प्राप्त हो गई, बहुत अच्छी बात है, but the question is, मुझे मिल सकती है कि नहीं? मुझे प्राप्त हो गया नहीं, मेरा क्या होगा? So so he's saying this knowledge is directly given with the entire Yog Vidhi. That Krutsnam word is used means entire Yog Vidhi. So what Yog Vidhi is? All the different ways that you can reach there. So they gave a lot of metaphors, and we know that the most beautiful metaphor of chariot that is used in the so much in India, and even Bhagavad Gita, they have that chariot right on every Bhagavad Gita has in the front. So it's not just that they are showing, oh, Krishna Bhagwan is sitting and taking him to the war. No, the chariot has so much symbolism itself, and we learned the entire symbolism about, how to, those horses are like, indriyas, and the lagam is the mana. वो लगाम खींच के रखो मन को, and किसके हाथ में होनी चाहिए? Pure mind के हाथ में होनी चाहिए, and all that. So now every time we see the chariot, we should know what they are talking about. All those, they are the sadhan pointed out to reach that. And then what is the result of it? What is the phala? That you will get that knowledge, So what this verse says is that after hearing this Mrityu Bhagwan's whole discourse on this, Nachiketa realized the Brahman, because he followed that vidhi. He went deep into it, whatever that was a method, he followed it and he did it. And then after he got that knowledge, what happened to him? He became, there are two words used, Virijaha and Vimrityu. So, Virija, as I said, that it has come from Rajas, and opposite of Rajas, but no Rajas meaning extremely pure. Because Rajas se impurity aa jati hai. So he became extremely pure, and then Vimrityu means he became free from death. So there are two ways of looking at it, what it means. Obviously the physical body, no matter who it is. Even Krishna Bhagwan dropped his physical body, when he left. So we cannot equate that to, free from Mrityu that way. That's a deeper meaning. Free from fear of death. That's one thing you can say. And so Bhaya Mukti. So when somebody gets over the fear of death, he actually becomes fearless. फिर जब वो अपना काम भी करेगा तो fearless के उधर से करेगा, एकदम conviction से करेगा, So भय मुक्त हो जाएगा and जीवन मुक्त हो जाएगा. That is called the जीवन मुक्त. When you are not disturbed by the change. That's another way of looking. Death equals change in the world, because everything changes, everything is being reborn, dying, whichever way you want to look at it. So when they talk about death in the Vedanta, there are two aspects. One is a fear of death is gone, and then not getting disturbed by the change. So that's how we have to look at this Vimrityu. And then there are other words that Tejomayananji told, Jivan Mukta, Sadhyo Mukti. And in English, they call it liberation and moksha and nirvana. All of that you can equate to this. Vimrityu. And Videha also and all that. So then, he said the same thing. Tejomayananji said, okay, great. Nachiketa got it. But what about me? So don't worry. Over here, immediately they said that, even other people who will study this Upanishad, learn from it, follow it, it's his instruction, they can get this spiritual knowledge too. So it's capable of giving you that, And so, and Tejomayananji is funny. So he said, thank God. नहीं तो मुझे लगा था मेरा नंबर नहीं लगेगा. Then it's very funny. And he said कि no, but तुम लोग कठोपनिषद पढ़ रहे हो तो नंबर तो लग चुका है. He said now it's up to you. But so this is what this verse is saying. It's a very simple verse, and then it says, oh yeah, I forgot to read this. Iti Kathoupanishadi Dvitiya Dhyaye Shashti Valli. It's just saying that this is over. And the last one is, of course, Sahanavavatu. And I think most of you know the meaning. In case you don't, so it's just telling, and there's one, what is the bhav behind it, this Sahanavavatu? Because it's always said, it's said in the beginning, but in a lot of people say even at the end. He's saying that Shankaracharya ji said, he said a very touching thing he said.
We haven't read this, JT.
Yeah. Okay, maybe we should read it and then go. You're right.
Then we'll go.
Yes. I don't know why I jumped. Got too excited about ending it. And so anyway, before I go reading, anybody has any comment or question about what he said about this? Okay. All right, Meena ji, you're going to read it. You're being vigilant That's what the kind of mind we need. Not sleepy mind and forgetting. Okay.
Nachiketa, having been so instructed by Lord Death in this knowledge and in the whole process of yoga, became free from all impurities and death and attained Brahman. And so anyone too will attain who knows thus the inner self. Thus ends the sixth pali in the second chapter. The previous stanza, with its repetition in its last line and the particle iti, had already given us the indication that the Upanishad had ended. This mantra can, therefore, be only interpreted as the words of Shruti Bhagavati herself. Bhagavati. Nachiketa, after listening to the entire advices of his master from Upanishad and having acquired a thorough knowledge of the technique Yoga Vidhi of self-perfection by which he can come to experience the absolute perfection as his own real nature, retired to a quiet retreat where he, practicing the Brahma Vidya, came to the pure in mind and intellect, and through the process of higher meditations, realized his self.
So here we discussed this whole thing, right? And then because the Kathoupanishad ended with the previous one, but this is, they're saying these are the words of Shruti Bhagavati itself. Shruti is all these Upanishads and all that. And then it's not saying in so much detail, but here Swamiji expanded it that, hey, we have to just imagine now that Nachiketa, retired to a quiet retreat where practicing Brahma Vidya came to be of pure mind and intellect, and through the process of higher meditation realize the self. So he's just saying the whole process ही उन्होंने बता दिया है यहाँ पर what somebody has to do. Okay, now the next.
Okay. Viraja, free from rajas or sin, free from impurities, free from vice and virtue. The Jnana Sadhana consists in controlling the flow of the sense organs towards their sense objects by a powerful application of the powers of discrimination and severe mental discipline. The mind is thus redeemed in slow and steady stages from its dross such as egoistic vanities, self-centered passions and desires, attachments, lusts, greeds, and so on, and by applying such a controlled and purified mind to dwell at a limited chosen form or idea, its powers of concentration are developed. Lastly, these newly developed powers of continued concentration are applied with greater intensity for delving deep beneath the delusory five matter envelopments of the spirit to contact the self, which is of the nature of pure consciousness, eternal and absolute.
So here he completely expanded the whole process. And, it's Swamiji writes the longest sentences. So sometimes we may get lost. But basically, he's just telling us that we already discussed that viraja means, free from the sin or rajas and free from impurities. And what are those impurities? These are, egoistic vanity, selfish, self-centered passions and desire, attachment, lust, greed, and all these. So in the beginning, you have to make this effort by powerful application of the powers of discrimination, vivek, and severe mental discipline. Those are the two things, vivek, vairagya, and all these things that we do. And then what happens is that your mind becomes purer and purer, and that pure mind, that concentrated mind, you develop that concentration, and with these newly developed powers, we continue that concentration with greater intensity, and then you will reach that dwelling deep beneath the delusory five matter envelopment. These are those koshas that I think I'm the body, I think I'm the mind, and all that. And in our Taittiriya Upanishad, more detail is coming. And I know that I think Anilji had posted one link that talked about Taittiriya Upanishad. And whoever has not listened to it, it will be a very good preview And I have not finished that whole thing, Anilji, but it was very good. After I finish, I was going to comment that for our to start with, is very good preview of Taittiriya Upanishad. So it's going to give the method, how to do it, even another angle. So that's what it is. That's what we need to do. Contact that self, which is the nature of pure consciousness, eternal and absolute. And this is very complementary to what we are doing in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna Bhagavan is telling very simple way how to connect to God. Even when you are doing your work or looking at a sunset or sunrise or anything, you look at a sunrise and say, this is the glory of God. This is what I'm seeing is Bhagavan only. Immediately connecting to him. You don't need to do any elaborate, if you like doing elaborate puja, by all means do it. But while doing your daily activities, how to connect also. So we have so much material now to connect to the higher.
In one paragraph, he's given the whole thing.
Yes.
Basically, starting from the student, from the ignorance onwards,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So this is beautiful. The whole Kathoupanishad.
Yes.
This. If one seeker at the period of Vedika era had realized the self in him through blessings of such a super divine master as Lord Death, to many of us it may seem to be historical accident and not a sure achievement for all seekers at all times. To checkmate this possible doubt in her readers, Shruti herein emphatically asserts, so will he too attain who knows thus the inner self. Even today, he who can fulfill in himself all the necessary qualifications explained so vividly in this Upanishad, and then practice the entire technique of Brahma Vidya as diligently as Nachiketa did, he too can realize the self and become one with the truth, a God-man upon earth.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yes.
So he's just saying the same thing that Tejobhayanaji was saying, that it plugged all the doubt. No, you can get it too, but as long as we fulfill in himself all necessary qualification. So if you want to, it's the same thing like, hey, if you want an admission in some university, you got to clear SAT first. So qualification hona chahiye. So if we have something less, Bhagavad Gita is a beautiful place. That you start with Karma Yoga. So it's like, okay, I'm full of desires. I don't know how to think. Okay, start doing first selfless action. So the whole thing is given. Anybody can start anywhere, but you can reach. That's what he's telling you. And then, practice the entire technique of Brahma Vidya. That's another thing. Just gathering information, reading, all that is great. But until we practice, nothing is going to happen. We all know that by now. We can become pandits, but our whatever pain and all is not going to go away, mental pain, until we do all these things. So here it is. Any comment, question? Anybody wants to add anything from the entire Kathoupanishad? Oh, I have to put it's a low battery. I forgot to put it up before it goes up. Okay. I guess everybody looks like already went into deeper meditation. Okay. Shall we do the final prayer? Okay. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So I was just saying that how Tejobhayanaji said that Shankaracharya made a very touching comment, saying that that he's just not saying just for the student, but he's saying that in the process of imparting this knowledge, there could be a possibility of some mistake. Inadvertently, not somebody, obviously you're trying to study, and it can be by a shishya or by the teacher. It doesn't, both of them can make that mistake. Sometimes you can say some wrong word or some wrong thought might come or something might happen. So just to kind of alleviate all those things, this prayer, and when we see the meaning of the prayer is, it's so beautiful that, it may Lord protect us both, and then he should bless us with this knowledge that we are making effort to learn this together. Because even Shishya and Guru, they are making that effort to learn this together. So, and then may our effort bring out glorious results, So that is this prayer that, may this happen this way. And then maybe not, last part is, it has a loads of meaning. Maybe not quarrel with each other with a very simple way, but basically कोई misunderstanding नहीं होनी चाहिए हमारे में, and अगर थोड़ा कुछ हुआ भी है, वो सब भूल भाल के become like, go for the higher self. So same thing I'm telling everybody, because I'm just looking at, I'm doing this as with all the friends together, we are learning together. No, I don't even consider Guru, Shishya, nothing like that. We are studying this together, and all of you are like instrumental in making us go deeper into it. And in that process, if somebody has hurt somebody or somebody has done something that they didn't like, sink all those differences and protect us both, that we still love each other or something like that, and move forward in this. So that's what this Shanti part is. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And so we'll read Swamiji's thing. Any comment on this? Everybody knew the meaning, I'm hoping, of this Navavtu. But it's good to remind ourselves that what it is. It's very, very thoughtfully done, by our rishis, this prayer. Any volunteers to read?
Are we going to do the Sanskrit to English to Sanskrit, the meaning?
See, you always catch me. Good. No, that's perfect. Like I remember कि वो हमारे स्कूल में, I don't know तुम लोग के भी होता था कि एक class monitor होता था. So I think Meenaji is definitely our class monitor, and I love it absolutely. So, okay. Om is the symbol of Parabrahman. Now in this class, everybody can give lectures on Om. Like we did the whole Upanishad on Om. Okay. Saha is together. Now is both of us together. Teacher and the taught. Avatu, protect. Saha, again together. Now both of us. Bhunaktu, come to enjoy the bliss. And Bhunaktu का एक में है ना, साथ में लोग जो भोजन भी करते हैं उसको भी ऐसे बोल सकते हैं. Anything you do together. So this prayer actually, if you think about it, anytime you're in a group, no matter what you're doing, can be said. Because even in the worldly things, if you're doing some group activity, you want people to get along, and there are so many different personalities, and somebody is higher in the spiritual, somebody is not there, somebody has this person. Everybody, like our teacher used to say in Houston, hold hand with everybody and walk together. That's what this teaches us. So that's what this prayer can be said together. Viryam is effort. Putting the effort to do something. And Karvavahe means we are doing. Tejasvi now. Well studied. Tejasvi ho. We all know this word. Even Bhagwan is saying, I am the Tej among the Tejasvi. So bring that vibhuti out while studying. That's what I would say. And then Adhitam astu. What we study, Ma is never, with Vishavahe. Quarrel with each other. Koi dvesh na ho hamare mein. The word dvesh is there. Hatred is a very strong word. I don't even want to use over here. Nothing like that. Differences na ho hamare mein. Because when we study Swamiji's commentary, he's going to say that Vedanta is such, there's a lot of room for a lot of arguments. Because contradictory things are said. And I know there are a couple of topics, the topics like what you call Varna Vyavastha. What is the caste system? वो आता है, कुछ आता है, तो इतने बड़े-बड़े discussions होते हैं because people's all emotions come out of centuries, And so a lot of misunderstandings can happen too and all that. Or sometimes if we don't follow the verse correctly, we can misunderstand also. So ऐसा सब नहीं हो, हमारी glorious हो study. That's what it is. Anything else, Meenaji? No, I actually thank you so much because some other people may know it, but they make you quiet. But you just it goes smoothly. हमारा जो होता है ना तेजस्वी होता है because you keep everybody in line.
But she doesn't do that to me somehow.
She doesn't. She's a sweetheart. What can I say? She doesn't want to hurt your feelings. Yeah. But now you know she's capable of. If you give her the authority, she will.
But since she read the last one, I'll read this one.
Absolutely, yes.
You're a lucky man, Sushil.
Oh,
I said you are a
I'm
very
not
lucky
going to
man.
read it, but you go ahead.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. Yep.
Yesterday was that Valentine's Day night. This is really, we're getting all inspired by this. This Jodi. Okay.
Let him protect us both. May he bless us with bliss of knowledge. Let us exert together. May what we study be well studied. May we not hate, quarrel with each other. Om, peace, peace, peace. This peace verse gives us an idea of the team spirit in which the teacher and the taught approach the business of teaching and learning. How far removed is it from the modern relationship between the teacher and the taught? Today, the teacher reaches the desk only to pull through his job, and the students seem to be there to put in only their compulsory period of attendance. To the teacher, the taught has become an unavoidable and gruesome botheration. To the taught, the teachers are thorns in the otherwise soft flower bed of their college days.
Swamiji is very blunt, because we see that, more and more, if you see this, it become like a business, like teaching and all. But, I won't say that across. Of course, there are a lot of passionate, and I know that a couple of them are here, the professor, because I always say that, even my own husband, he will tell about his research to either one person or 1,000 person with the same passion. Because it's like passion to teach and all that. So he's just saying, but if it becomes like a business, then it's nothing. That's why in the olden days, I heard there were 3 professions. They didn't want to be salaried profession because it can contaminate it. One was education, and one was health and spirituality. They said that's why they had this Guru Dakshina type of thing. Obviously, they have to sustain themselves, So they will need some funds and all that, but it was not like a fixed fee and all. Hey, tumhari jo shraddha hai wo to somebody will give more, somebody will give less, but it will be, done, because there is a danger of it becoming like a business. And a lot of universities and all have become like this these days, sad, but it's just bringing that up,
In Brahma Vidya, no progress is possible without the active cooperation of the teacher and equally sincere cooperation of the taught. Hence the special prayer, may we never quarrel with each other. This prayer seems to be especially imperative in the study of the scripture, where the chances for wasteful and useless arguments are so many that they can lead us into the meshes of ruinous misunderstanding, understanding, and non-understanding of the Shruti at every step. Each day, the teacher and the pupils started and ended their lessons chanting his stanza of peace. Even today, whenever the Shruti is taught, this practice is strictly followed. Hari Om Tat Sat.
So here it's the end of the Upanishad with the blessing of Lord Krishna, Lord Yamraji, Nachiketa and all that. We finished this. And just, reading this Swamiji's translation of this Om Sahana Bhavatu and all that. It's really beautiful. And every time we say, we should think about that because it will make us very, very, it will be more glorious, our studies, right? So we will rise above all our petty things, I think. And then one tradition they have, which we will do, what they do is, the tradition is in Upanishad studies, they go back and just chant the first verse because that tells us that I'm not stopping this study. I want to go back. Like वो इंडिया में बोलते हैं ना कुछ डोनेशन देते हैं तो 101, 1001 ऐसे देते हैं ताकि one they I want to start again. But I know, I think Neelu ji had said one more thing about that वो लोग पहले पैसे देते थे तो ऊपर रख देते थे $1 तो अंदर पता नहीं चलेगा क्या दे रहे हैं.
जो ₹1 ऊपर रखते थे बिकॉज शादी ब्याहों में नॉर्थ इंडिया में ये ट्रेडिशन था कि लड़की के मदर फादर को लड़के के मदर फादर को उठा के शगुन देते थे, नॉट टू द गर्ल एंड बॉय बट टू द पेरेंट्स कि उनकी मदद हो जाए शादी में. सो दे डिडंट वांट पीपल टू थिंक कि तुमने कम दिया तुमने ज्यादा दिया, सो दे पुट अ वन ऑन टॉप एंड गिव ताकि देने वाले और लेने वाले के बीच का समझौता है, किसी और को जानने की जरूरत नहीं है.
Beautiful, yeah.
Very nice, very nice. I didn't know that.
Yeah, she had mentioned, I think, one time about that. Okay, so we will chant this first verse just to do the continuity. Ushan ha vai vaja shravasah sarva veden sah dadao tasya ha nachiketa nama putra asah. I should have said in the beginning prathamodhyaya pratham valli. And I'll just read the English translation and we'll end. One desirous of heaven, the son of Vajashravas, or Gautama, gave away in a sacrifice all that he possessed. He had a son, Nachiketa, by name. That brings us all the way in the beginning, the story about him doing the Havan and all that. So, this is the end. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Any comment, question?
I'll again remind that keeping up with the tradition, whenever we finish some big Upanishad, it's customary to give Guru Dakshina. Here, Guru, just as, even though Manja says she's not Guru, but she is. So we need to do something, and doesn't have to go to Umaji's.
Yeah, no,
but
definitely.
Her name, and we can send to wherever you want. Doesn't have to be any specific place. We send it to Chinmaya Mission, and so whichever way you feel good about doing it. So that's the customary thing to remind. So.
Well said, Sunil.
Sushilji, thank you very much. And if you want to donate to Chinmaya Mission, and it doesn't have to be like any specific amount at all, small, big, whatever you want to do, you can even send it to me and I will give it to them. Whatever your Shraddha. Okay. Any other question, comment?
So 1st March ko we are meeting in person.
Yes. So this is what why don't I do this? If you don't have anything related to this Kathoupanishad, I will end it and then I will stop the recording and then we can discuss about our class.
Okay.
Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kashchit Dukha Bhag Bhavet Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Hari Om.